Most people think prepping costs a fortune. Generators, solar panels, gear that sounds more tactical than practical. But the truth? Some of the smartest survival tools are hiding in plain sight at your local dollar store. The next time the lights go out, for real, not for minutes, but for days or weeks, it won't be the big gear that saves you. It'll be the small, reliable items you grabbed on the cheap before everyone else realized they needed them too. In this video, I'm showing you 7 insanely affordable tools, all found at dollar stores, that'll still function when the entire grid shuts down. No electricity, no batteries, no problem. And no, this isn't about hype. This channel shares ideas that actually work. If you've got a go-to item that's low cost but high value during a blackout, drop it in the comments. Because the goal isn't to go viral. It's to stay ahead quietly, smartly, and without wasting a cent. Number 1. Melamine mixing bowls. At first glance, a melamine mixing bowl looks like the least survival-ready item in your kitchen. It's light, plastic-like, and probably something you use once a week to mix pancake batter. But if a total blackout hit tomorrow, not just a few hours without power, but days or even weeks, this ordinary bowl becomes one of the most overlooked and high-value tools in your house. Let me explain why. First, melamine bowls are durable but lightweight. They don't shatter like glass or crack under pressure like cheap plastic. That means you can drop them, stack them, pack them, and even bang them around outdoors and they'll keep going. In a blackout scenario where you're moving supplies, rationing food, or operating in tight, chaotic spaces, gear that doesn't break matters. But it's not just about durability. These bowls are incredibly versatile. You can use them to collect water from leaks, rain, or drips off a tarp. Prepare food without contamination, no electric mixer required. Wash small items like baby bottles, tools, or even first aid supplies. Serve and ration meals, especially when you need to keep portions controlled. Even as makeshift wash basins for sponge baths or hand washing when your plumbing stops working. And here's where they really stand out: stackability and storage. When space is tight and your entire kitchen is reduced to a few shelves or a bug-out bin, melamine bowls stack neatly and don't take up unnecessary room. You can even pack survival items inside them: tea lights, utensils, matches, then cover the stack and secure it. Instant storage hack. They're also non-reactive, meaning they don't leach chemicals into acidic foods like lemon juice, tomato sauce, or vinegar-based mixes. That's important when you're cooking or mixing with limited cookware options. And let's be real, every American home has at least one. Whether it's from Walmart, Dollar Tree, or a holiday gift set, melamine mixing bowls are just there. But in a crisis, they become bowls for cleaning, cooking, drinking, measuring, storing everything. So here's what you need to do. Go find yours. Inspect them. Make sure they don't have hairline cracks or major stains. If they're in good shape, move 1 or 2 into your emergency supply area. Better yet, pick up a couple extras next time you're at the store. They cost next to nothing, and you won't realize their full value until the lights are out and water's running low. Because when the power goes and survival turns to basics, the basics are what you'll wish you stocked up on. Number 2. Floor wiper. A floor wiper, seriously? Most people think of it as just a way to push water around in the kitchen or mop up spills. But in a long-term blackout where water is limited, sanitation is critical, and hygiene becomes a survival concern, this underrated tool turns into one of the smartest things you already own. Here's why it matters. After a blackout, plumbing can fail. Toilets might stop flushing, sinks won't drain properly, and even small water spills can turn into hazards. Add in the fact that you'll probably be cooking with open flames, using wash basins instead of running taps, and walking through dark rooms, and suddenly, a clean, dry floor becomes a matter of safety, not comfort. That's where your simple floor wiper steps in. It's 100% manual. No electricity, no batteries. Just a handle and a flexible rubber blade. You can use it to push standing water out of rooms or into buckets for reuse. Dry floors quickly to prevent slips and accidents, especially critical if you're using candles or lanterns. Clean surfaces after minor flooding or roof leaks. Even use it as a makeshift broom to move debris, mud, or leaves off indoor surfaces. Unlike mops, which soak up water and stay wet, sometimes growing mold, a floor wiper doesn't absorb anything. It scrapes and moves, which is exactly what you want when you need to clean without wasting precious resources. In fact, with just a towel and a floor wiper, you can cover large areas with minimal effort and water. And let's not overlook how versatile it is in an emergency. You can use it to Clear condensation off windows or solar cookers. Push dirty water down makeshift drainage systems. Clean off solar panels or water catchment tarps. Most homes in the US might not have one yet, but they're dirt cheap at Dollar Tree, Walmart, and even Amazon. They're compact, lightweight, and last years with basic care. If you already own one, great, clean it and store it somewhere accessible. If you don't, now's the time to grab one and add it to your blackout kit. Because when the lights go out and the water gets scarce, staying clean and dry isn't about looking good, it's about staying healthy, safe, and in control. Number 3, rubber sink street stopper. Out of all the tools in your kitchen or bathroom, the rubber sink stopper might be the most ignored. It's small, cheap, and usually tossed in a drawer or left in the sink without a second thought. But in a full-scale blackout, especially one that affects plumbing or water access, this simple piece of rubber becomes a quiet lifesaver. Here's why. When the grid goes down, water systems don't always follow right away, but when they do, they fail hard. Whether it's a busted water main, loss of pressure, or contamination, every drop you have becomes precious. And in that moment, your ability to store and conserve water even in your own sink is gold. A rubber sink stopper lets you instantly turn any sink or tub into a temporary water reservoir. You can fill it with clean drinking water, use it for washing dishes, doing laundry, bathing, or flushing toilets. And you don't need a fancy container or a storage barrel, just your existing sink and a tight seal. Here's the thing. Most modern sinks have built-in stoppers, but they often leak or fail under pressure. A flat rubber sink stopper gives you a manual backup that creates a watertight seal in almost any standard drain. No tools, no installation. Just press it down, and you're good to go. But the utility doesn't stop there. You can also use it to block odors from drains if the sewer system backs up, prevent backflow during flooding or heavy rain, create a closed basin for disinfecting tools, clothes, or hands when there's no running water. And let's talk portability. Rubber sink stoppers are flat, weigh nothing, and can be thrown in any bag, drawer, or emergency kit. You can find them for $1 or less at any dollar store, hardware aisle, or even multi-pack online. Most people won't think to grab one until it's too late, when the water's already off and the sink won't hold a drop. But you'll have a simple, flexible tool ready to go. So here's your move. Check your sinks. If your built-in stopper doesn't seal tight, get a rubber one today. Toss an extra in your blackout kit or glove box. Because in a crisis, it's not always the fancy gear that keeps you going, it's the little things that keep the basics working. And this $1 piece of rubber might just be worth its weight in clean water. Number 4, manual pepper mill, spice grinder. In most American kitchens, a manual pepper mill is just a way to add a little fresh flavor to dinner. You twist it a few times, sprinkle some pepper, and forget about it. But in a total blackout, the kind where electric appliances are useless and every bit of manual gear matters, that little hand-cranked grinder becomes far more important than you think. Let's start with what it really is: a compact mechanical food processor. No batteries, no plugs, just gears, friction, and a turning handle. And that's exactly what makes it blackout ready. Most people only use these mills for black pepper or sea salt. But when you're trying to prepare food without blenders, processors, or electric grinders, a manual spice grinder can crush dried herbs, grains, seeds, and even medicine tablets. Whether you're making herbal teas, ration mixes, or treating a headache with crushed aspirin, this tiny tool can handle it. And because it's designed to grind hard spices, the internal parts, usually ceramic or stainless steel, are built to last. That makes it far more than just a seasoning tool. In survival terms, it's a multi-use micro mill. Here's how it comes in handy. Crush dry beans or oats for quicker cooking without full boil time. Powder eggshells for calcium if supplements run low. Grind up charcoal for homemade water filtration systems. Make poultices from dried medicinal leaves. And all of that, with something that fits in your hand and weighs next to nothing. You can find these in almost every grocery store, dollar store, or kitchen aisle, sometimes already filled with pepper, sometimes empty and refillable. The refillable ones are better for long-term survival, since you can change the contents based on what you need. So what should you do now? Take a look at the pepper grinder you already have. Is it refillable? Manual? If yes, clean it, test it, and add it to your blackout stash. If not, grab one for $5 or less and toss it in with your emergency gear. Because when machines stop working and you're left with raw supplies and no way to process them, even the smallest manual tool can become the biggest game changer. Number 5, manual citrus juicer. The manual citrus juicer, that little handheld or tabletop gadget you pull out maybe once a month to make fresh lemonade. Seems like the least important thing in your kitchen, right? But during a total blackout, when nutrition, hydration, and resourcefulness are all you've got, this tool becomes way more valuable than you think. Here's why. First off, in a long-term grid-down situation, fresh produce is going to spoil fast, and fruit will be a precious commodity. That means every drop matters. A manual citrus juicer lets you extract every bit of juice from lemons, oranges, limes, or even grapefruits with zero electricity. Not only does that give you hydration, but it delivers natural vitamin C, which becomes critical when your diet suddenly shifts to shelf-stable or canned food. But beyond making juice, this tool becomes a manual press, and that's where its true versatility shines. Need to squeeze liquid from soaked herbs or plant material for natural medicine? It works. Trying to extract water from a damp rag or cloth in a low-moisture situation? It can help. Want to press soft foods like boiled veggies or berries for sauces or preserves? Absolutely. Making your own oil or vinegar infusions from herbs? It's the perfect starter press. Most people overlook this tool because it's so single-purpose, or so they think. But the mechanical advantage it gives you, that firm press using your full hand, means you can extract, strain, and separate without wasting strength or precious ingredients. And let's talk materials. Most juicers are made from durable plastic, stainless steel, or aluminum, and they're built to last. No moving parts that break easily, no reliance on electricity, just a simple, rugged tool designed to do one job well and secretly do a dozen others. The best part? They're everywhere. You'll find them at Walmart, Target, Dollar Tree, thrift stores usually under $5. And no one's hoarding citrus juicers during a crisis, which makes it a sneaky smart prep item to grab before shelves clear out. So here's your action step. Pull yours out from the back of the drawer. Clean it, test it, try juicing a lemon and get a feel for how efficient it really is. And if you don't have one, now's the time to add it to your blackout kit. Because when the machines go quiet and every calorie counts, the tools that help you press more out of less quietly and efficiently are the ones that make the difference. Number 6, silicone baking mat. It might look like just a fancy non-stick sheet for baking cookies, but a silicone baking mat is one of the most overlooked survival tools already sitting in your kitchen drawer. Flexible, heat-resistant, waterproof, and in a blackout scenario, incredibly useful in ways most people never consider. Let's start with the basics. These mats are designed to handle high oven temperatures, usually up to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. That means they can go directly onto hot metal surfaces, over open flame grates, or inside cast iron pans without melting or releasing harmful chemicals. When you've lost electricity and are cooking over unpredictable heat sources like campfires or propane stoves, that kind of durability becomes crucial. But beyond baking, here's where it really earns its spot in your blackout kit. 1. Clean food prep surface. When you can't rely on running water to clean countertops or cutting boards, a silicone baking mat becomes your sanitary workspace. Roll it out anywhere: table, bucket lid, even on the ground, and you've got a clean, food-safe area to chop, mix, or portion food. Point 2. Water funnel or collector. Need to pour water from a large container into a small bottle? Roll the mat into a cone boom, instant flexible funnel. Need to catch dripping rainwater from a roof or tarp? Prop it at an angle and let it flow. It's waterproof and mold-resistant. 3. Emergency plate or placemat. If you're low on clean dishes or need to serve multiple people with limited bowls, the mat becomes a flat, reusable eating surface. It's non-stick and easy to wipe down, perfect for dry foods, fruits, or even sharing ration bars without cross-contamination. 4. Fireproof surface pad. Using a candle or alcohol stove? Put the mat under it. It'll protect your table or surface from burn marks, wax drips, or heat damage. That's a small move that prevents a much bigger problem. 5. Folding drying rack. Lay it out as a drying surface for utensils, water filters, or even cleaned medical tools. Its raised pattern helps airflow while keeping gear off unsanitary counters. And best of all, these mats weigh almost nothing, roll up tight, and cost around $5, $10. You can find them in any Walmart, Target, or Dollar Tree baking section. No one's buying them for prepping, but they should be. So grab one, clean it, roll it, and toss it in your blackout box. Because when the grid fails, the smallest tools, the ones built to survive heat, mess, and chaos, are the ones you'll thank yourself for saving. Number 7. Refrigerator egg tray. You've seen it 1,000 times and never thought twice that little plastic or acrylic egg tray that comes built into most refrigerators. It's just a boring accessory for holding eggs, right? But after a total blackout, when food storage, sanitation, and organization suddenly become survival-level concerns, that same egg tray becomes an unexpectedly valuable tool. Here's how. When the power's out, your fridge turns from a food saver into a ticking clock. You've got limited time to salvage what's inside before it spoils, and that's where controlled organization makes a huge difference. Instead of juggling loose items or trying to fit eggs into improvised containers, your egg tray becomes the perfect portable ration holder. It's already shaped to hold 6 12-round or oval objects. But here's what most people never think about. It's not just for eggs. That tray can now hold small fruits like grapes or cherry tomatoes, soap balls or homemade fuel pellets, tea light candles, organized, upright, and safe, boiled eggs for safe transport or rationing, even pre-measured dry spice or medicine pouches. In a no-power kitchen, keeping items separated, clean, and organized becomes essential. A blackout doesn't just turn off the lights, it creates clutter, confusion, and contamination risk. That tray solves all three in one move. It's also lightweight, stackable, and made of food-safe plastic. And because it's shallow and shaped, it can double as a seedling tray if you're trying to grow herbs near a window, a capsule or pill sorter for anyone with medical needs, a ration container where you assign 1 egg slot per person per day for food portions. Here's another trick. Flip it upside down, and you've got a makeshift drying rack for wet utensils, razors, or medical tools. The ridges keep items lifted off the surface, and it costs you nothing. You probably already have one in your fridge, and if not, they're sold in Walmart, Target, and even Dollar Tree for $2, $5 max. So here's what to do right now. Take out your egg tray, clean it thoroughly, and move it to your blackout supplies bin. Don't wait until you're sorting spoiled eggs or dripping candles in the dark. Because sometimes, survival doesn't come from a $300 gadget, it comes from repurposing the most ignored piece of plastic in your kitchen. So there you have it, 7 everyday items hiding in plain sight, sitting on your shelves, tucked away in drawers, or quietly waiting at your local dollar store. Each one is cheap, manual, and often overlooked, yet becomes incredibly valuable when the power goes out and the grid stays down. From the melamine mixing bowl that turns into a wash basin, to the rubber sink stopper that helps you store every drop of water, to the manual citrus juicer that extracts nutrition when you need it most. These are not luxury prepper tools. These are practical, affordable items you already own or can get within minutes. The key is mindset. You don't need expensive gear to survive. What you need is the ability to repurpose what's already around you, to see ordinary household items as tools for self-reliance when modern systems fail. If this video helped shift your thinking, if it made you walk through your home or your local dollar store with a new sense of awareness, then don't leave it here. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next breakdown of real, logic-based survival tips. And leave a comment below, sharing which item surprised you the most, or which one you're grabbing today. Because the difference between those who panic and those who stay in control isn't about how much money they've spent, it's about how prepared they were to use what they already had.